Hi, this is Mark, and I am in Palo Alto, and I'm actually by the Molly Stone's grocery store, sitting at one of the tables, and there is this cool shadow of an umbrella against the wall. And I thought I'm gonna do my reading from there. This is the reading from the Golden Present, Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. Just seems it's been easier lately to do these while on the run, and I have a train coming up soon, so hopefully I will make it. So I'm going to jump right in now. This is December 7th. The topic is There's Nothing Serious About It. Life is a play. It was never meant to be a serious, heavy thing. Our own ego makes it that way. God just wanted to have some fun. That's why He created all of us. But we don't know His purpose behind it all, and so we seem to be missing all the fun. Just treat everything as play. All this coming and going, meeting, eating, welcoming, sending off, taking birth, saying goodnight and goodbye, it's all fun. We should see it in this light and take things easy. It's all a great divine play, and we all have our roles. Don't even say that we are playing our roles. We are all puppets. There is a wire tied to us. That wire is cosmic consciousness. We all have that consciousness. Whatever that consciousness thinks, we think. But when we fail to understand that and allow our individual egos to come to the surface, we think that we are doing something. That is what you call basic ignorance. Actually, we have no business of our own here at all. Nothing belongs to us. Not even these bodies, not even these minds. Just because we happen to have something in our hands, we immediately try to possess it. We say, "This is mine, I should keep it. I did it." Our I gets cataracted by too many minds. If we could just perform an operation on that cataract, we would see better. So just leave it to the Lord. Then there's nothing serious about it. Ooh. Well, curious what you think about that. I think this is definitely a perspective shift to be able to think about life as a play rather than to see it as this doomsday misery that we all have to endure until we don't anymore. How can we look at all of these things that are happening in the world and think it's just for fun? That might be a big leap to think of it that way. It's like when you're watching a play or a movie, a film, and you get completely engrossed and you are actually physically tensing the body and releasing the body and laughing and crying, and you're going along through the whole ride of the movie. And then when it's done, you might still have some feelings about it for a little while, but eventually they drift away. They subside, no matter how much of an impact it made on you. That typically is what happens, is we forget, that moment of that emotional seizure with being so captivated and in the moment with whatever was going on. It eventually drifts away, and it just becomes kind of like a shadow in our mind, and then even eventually that goes away from our direct consciousness. It leaves an imprint somewhere, but it stays there as this kind of an imprinting on our deeper consciousness, and we forget it in the moment because the next thing floods our minds, and then we go back to our habit way of being and doing things, which oftentimes is about self-preservation. It's often not about thinking in a larger, grander scale and thinking about this more objective look at things, stepping outside and understanding there's a larger purpose than we can even fathom. And I often like to speak about this. If we really do think that we are in so much control of our own life and our own destiny, okay, that's fine, but what about the way everything else works in the world and the flow of nature and the movement of all the things and the way collective consciousness moves? And Who's in control of all that? How is that all functioning? And it may be you don't even think about it. It may be just, well, it just happens. And really, that's probably the best way to go ahead and let it be. Rather than try to think you can figure it out, just let it be. Observe it for what it is, honor it for what it is. And then when those challenging things happen, or we see things that don't look like play, they look like harm, they look like destruction, they look like pain, it creates fear. What to do with all that. Whatever consciousness thinks, we think. But when we fail to understand that and allow our individual egos to come to the surface, we think that we are doing something. So our thoughts are already kind of bubbling up because of the consciousness of this greater source, not because of our own design. We didn't come up with this amazing life that we have by being in control and at the steering wheel and willing all of this to happen. We put in effort, but that effort even came through from some other resource. You think about when you were a small kid and a baby, who was guiding you then? What was causing that action to happen in your life? And I believe all that continues to happen, but we just tend to start to think we're getting smarter and that we're more in control. And I think that that's not good or bad. It's just simply what happens. It's the way that this ego is functioned, but it can be the way we learn how to also shift from that. Like if we can utilize the ego to see it for what it is, see it that it has a desire to want to help us maintain, to survive, to be seen, to be heard. It has a very basic function. The high level function of it, it shifts into the spiritual realm, where we still want to be seen and heard, but it's because we know that we're connected. We're connected to a source. We're all connected to that. Yeah. So I don't know if we'll get quickly to that place where we're just trying to have fun, but at least can we see where we're able to walk away from some things, like how the end of a movie is. And it might have inspired us when we watched a movie to then take some kind of action. But we're no longer caught up in the drama of it. We're no longer caught up in the moment of the high emotion. We've now had some distance from it, and it's from there that we can take action that's more from a strong, peaceful place rather than a weak and wounded place, which is often what I feel we end up doing when we act compulsively. We're really letting the ego take over. And you know what? It happens, and then we think, was that good? Was it helpful? And then you think about it. If it was, then maybe that's the way you are in the world. If it made you think, I need to think about this some more, then, consider some other options. All right, that's going to be my share for today. It's super sunny, and I always love facing the sun. It feels so good. I don't tend to get a lot of, usually I do actually move under an umbrella, but for some reason, this is the way these readings are going. Okay. Nice little, oh, that's the pole. All right, thanks. See you next time.